What is going on, guys? We're back playing some more Surviving with Immersive Engineering. Now today, guys, we're going to be working on making what I'm going to call the steel factory, and it's pretty much going to be just an enhanced version of the automatic steel production setup that I showed you guys a couple episodes ago. Now the one flaw with that setup was that we could not automatically remove the creosote. So you guys had some phenomenal feedback in the comments with some pretty crazy ways that we could get the creosote out. So today we're going to be working in this room right here, which I've cleaned up a little bit. And it's just nice because it's got a lot of open space and we're going to need it. But we're going to be setting it up so it will literally be fully automatic. We can throw all of the cobble we're going to need in there, all the coal, all the iron, and you will get back your creosote and you'll get back your steel. So there's not going to be any limit on how much you can put in. You can just throw it all in AFK and you will get all the stuff back. Now keep in mind, this is extremely unnecessary. It's going to cost a decent amount. It's going to take a lot of space to set up. So if we look at my inventory, you can see that it is really full. No, it is not just because I am extremely messy and don't sort things out in my inventory. I usually don't, but I had to sort them out today because we're going to use up all of this stuff, or pretty much all of it. We're not going to need these water buckets. I don't know why those are in there, but we're going to need everything else. So we're going to be setting up a crusher, which is going to take all the cobble that we put into the initial chest. It is going to turn it into sand. That is then going to go to a furnace, which will be powered by our external heater here. That'll turn it into glass. That is then going to go to the assembler that we're going to be making, which will make glass bottles, which will then put those out into the coke oven to get the creosote. Those will then go back to the output chest. The coal coke will then go into the blast furnace, which is where the initial iron will go. That will make steel, which will then also go to the output chest. So essentially, there's going to be a chest right over here and another chest right next to it. That's going to be the input and output chest. The entire rest of the room you're not going to see unless you go through a door, and that is where all the magic is going to happen. So we really need to jump into it because we have a ton of work to do today. I know I usually say that, but today we actually have a ton of work to do. So my main idea is that I'm going to spread things out. So we're going to have the crusher right over here, the assembler right over here, and then the coke oven and the blast furnace right over here. Actually, no, reverse that. We're going to have the crusher over here, assembler over here, and coke oven and blast furnace over there. And I only say that because we're going to wire the power down right here. So but the reason I want to spread them out is because we are going to be running so many conveyor belts. I don't even know if 49 conveyor belts is going to be enough. I might have to hop off camera and kill some cows just so that I can get some more leather for it. But we're going to be using a ton of these to move things back and forth. So I'm going to need some space to kind of move things around. Also going to need to keep them a little bit close though, because I don't want to use a ton of these conveyor belts down here. So first things first, I said we're going to need to make the crusher. So we need some light engineering blocks, some steel scaffolding, the steel frames, and some hoppers. Now, I'd like to think I remember how to make this, so we're going to try and go from memory and make this. I'm going to keep it away from the wall a little bit. Yeah, that should be enough room. Okay, so it should be like this. Guys, I definitely remember how to make this. I definitely remember how to. Okay, so we go like that, and then we do like this, like that, and then we go, is it this? I want to say it's this, guys. You know, we're going strong. We'll see if it fails, and if it does, we'll rebuild it. Oh my gosh, I am actually stuck in here. The ceiling is not high enough. We need to jump up on one of these blocks, or can we climb it anywhere? I guess we can get up over here enough. Okay, so we can put these down then, right along here, and we're gonna want this to be the front. Yeah, we remembered how to make it. Nice. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit cramped getting up there, but essentially I want to construct this, and then we're going to start things out over here. So we're going to do like a rough outline of where the wall is going to be. I'm most likely going to put the wall like right here, so that we just walk down this staircase, and then we'll do I want to do it like this? Do I want to have no, we'll do it like this. We'll put the wall literally right here. So, man, this is awkward because it's going to be 4 long. Okay, where do we want to put the 2 chests? We'll have the output chest, we'll put the input chest right over here. So the input chest will be right there, and we can have the output chest right there. That looks really weird, but whatever. So this is going to be the input chest. Nice. So first things first, we actually don't need this block right here. We're going to need a hopper below it, and this hopper is going to be putting out onto a conveyor belt. So let's get the conveyor belt down right back here. Get the hopper putting out onto that. Okay, so if we just think about what's going to go into this chest, it's going to be coal, it's going to be iron, possibly coal coke, and cobblestone. So we need to take the first item router, and it's going to get put down pretty much right here, actually. And this is going to separate all of the stuff that needs to go to the coke oven and blast furnace from all the stuff that needs to go to the crusher. And by that I mean it's going to separate the cobblestone from everything else. So we're going to have the cobblestone output right over here, and we can just toss it up there then. So we just got to bring it up. And before I circled it around back all the way, but I actually think we can just kind of dump it right in here. So I don't think we need to circle it around a ton, but we just gotta, do I have any spare? Not really. Okay, so let's see if we can work with this and get it up there. Nope. Oh, you know what? We can do this. Let's do this. Okay, so we get this block here, get it right there. Can then bring this one up. Nope. Gotta kick it up. Nope. Gotta rotate that and kick it up. There we go. Okay. That was way more difficult than it needed to be. And now we can just, honestly, we can just do this. And, oh man. Okay, let's jump up there. Yeah, let's see if we can get this right. So it looks like it's rotating backwards. That's how we want it. Go up like that. And almost there, guys. We are almost there. We just gotta, we actually need to waste some stone now. Unfortunately, we gotta get up there so we can do some work. That was one too close. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we should be able to just kick it in right here and not have to worry about it. And I will hook everything up and power it later. It'll be relatively easy to get the power down here. I have it set so that we can pretty much just wire it from upstairs right there, drop it down here, and run the power to all of these. So we'll do that at the very end when we test it. But for now, I'm just going to worry about getting everything in there. So let's verify that we put cobble. We want it to come out south. Put cobble in there. Let's just verify that this will kick one piece of cobble into the machine. Put in there. Goes up. Kicked over. Oh, you know what? It needs to have one more. Okay, I forgot. We need to get one more over there, so that it actually gets dumped on top of the machine. Okay, so that should actually dump it into the machine. You know what? I'll just waste a piece of stone. I don't care. Yeah, so that'll go in the machine. That'll be fine. So that is the cobble right there. Now we're going to be getting the glass from right here, which is going to need to go to the assembler, which we're going to be putting, I guess it doesn't need to go in this corner. It can just kind of go like right over here. Or you know, no, that's going to be the sand, which we need to put in the external heater first. So the one thing that's annoying about this is you can't just slide these into the side of the furnace. It needs to actually go in the top of the furnace. So we're going to be using a hopper to put it in there in case we ever get any extra if this is going super fast. So I think we can, I'm trying to think of how I want to set up this room. I guess we can do this. So let's put it back like this, and will it actually put it onto this if we do that? Let's just check. Okay, so it will kick it onto this. I wasn't sure if it could do an angle like that because that looks really weird, but do that, and then we need to bring it up one more just because of how I want to do. Actually, do we need to bring it up one more? That's a good question. No, you know what? I'll dig into the floor. It's fine. Okay, so this is going to be going into this furnace right here. The hopper is going to be right on top, so let's see if this will input it into the hopper, which should have put that into the furnace. Nice. Okay, so that's all we need there. And then we're going to dig below this and have another hopper that's going to output onto a conveyor belt right here, which once we get the hopper down, oh man, I always hate how we have to orient these. So we're going to do that, and then we can immediately kick it up and rotate it. I think this way is probably the best way to rotate it. You can just fill this in then, and then we need to get the external heater down right next to that. It'll be really easy to get power to this too, because we just kind of, yeah, it should be okay to get power to this. Let's just see. We're going to be powering this right over there, so we can kind of like, man, that's awkward that that's running right over that. But, you know, we'll worry about that later. So we'll set the power right on top of that, and we shouldn't have to worry about that then. So now we're going to have all of the sand coming out of this, or glass coming out of this, which is going to go to the assembler. So for the assembler, we're going to need some steel scaffolding. We're going to need 4 light engineering blocks, so as always we're going to have 1 left over, the structural arms, and actually we're going to need the conveyor belts. We're going to need 2 of them. So we can actually put that right here. So let's line it up with this, and let's give this some space to actually move it. So it's going to be a 3x3 of the steel scaffolding. Love that you can climb up this. You guys always remind me of this. We can use this like a ladder. It's pretty awesome. Then we're going to do conveyor belts going in the direction that we want, so like this. Then we are going to need the sheet metal to line the sides, and we're going to put the light engineering block right in the center. Then we got to get up on top of this, so let's get up in here, And we're going to have light engineering blocks right across the top like this, and then put the structural arms right. Damn. Okay, so let's get it like this. I gotta, come on. You know what, actually, we can just drop down and do this. I forgot. Because we have those engineering blocks already there. We can place it on that. Okay, so we're good to go now. And I think we click on it right there. So you can see it's going this way. So we just got to get this right up in here. So let's rotate this over there. I'm trying to think if there's, no, because it would use the same amount if we kicked it up like that. Okay. So then we want to bring this up like that and rotate it like that. So this should be bringing everything into there. And let's verify with some cobble. Just make sure that everything's working correctly. Okay, so it brings the cobble in there. So I will go and get glass later and we can set the glass bottles in one of these. But we're also going to need to get power to this, which shouldn't be too bad. I think the power should be right on the top of that. So it's going to be a lot of wires running across the ceiling, but we should be okay. So then we're going to be pulling it out of here. And just bring, you know, we need to put this on the ground to actually connect these. Just like that. Bring it down. Now we have come to the point where we need to start bringing this red side right over here over, and this is going to be the blast furnace and the coke oven portion of this. And we're running a little bit low on these conveyor belts, unfortunately. So, yeah, we're going to have to be a little bit careful about that. We probably aren't going to have enough to get it back to this output chest, but that is okay. So red side, north side is going to be taking coal. It's going to be taking coal coke on the off chance we throw it in there. It is going to be taking... Do I have any iron on me? No, I do not. I have steel on me, but I don't have iron. So we can go up and grab the glass and the iron right now. So we'll get some iron, grab some glass, and... Hello, zombies. Chilling at my door. Being nice and not breaking it down for some weird reason. Okay, so we need to put the iron in here, and we need to, I think that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Okay, so we have all that there. Then this is where we're going to have everything come. So all that stuff is going to be coming over here, the usual stuff, and now we need to actually work in the glass bottles, which are going to be coming over here. So we're going to want to spread this out a little bit more than normal. So let us get the coke bricks right here, and we'll put the coke oven like right over, how about I do like right here? Yeah, we can do right here. This will be fine. And you know, we should have put it one off the ground. I should have put it one off the ground. So we will break this bottom row, and we'll put it one off the ground just so that we can pull things out of it a little bit easier without having to really dig into the ground. And I got to get into the center to get all these blocks. That's everything? Yep, okay, that's everything. Nice. So let's get this made. And it shouldn't be too difficult to get things actually in here. The thing that I'm going to have to change from the old system is that we're going to have to pull the creosote bottles out of this. So I think we should just be able to do this to get the bottles in, get it right up next to it, and that should put the bottles in there just fine. Unfortunately, I guess we can test this out right here just to make sure it works. Oh, hello, coal. We can just toss that bucket there and verify. Oh, you know, we haven't actually created this yet. Gotta click on it with the hammer first. Okay, so the bucket should be in there. Nice, the bucket's in there. So that'll work. That'll put all the bottles in there that we need. And we can just fill this up. I don't need that coal. Okay, so the bottles are done aside from us just putting in the recipe. So that'll make 3 glass bottles. So we got that. So now we need to pull things out of here. So like before, we are going to be putting down a conveyor belt right here. And we're going to be putting a hopper connected to that. So that's going to put out everything. So that's going to put out the bottles full of creosote, and it's going to put out the coal coke. So we're going to need to, we might actually need to use another item router here, which is going to be interesting. I'm trying to think. There might be a way around this, guys. There might be a way to get all of this through one item router. I'm trying to think if we can. So this stuff would get put into the item router, which would be most likely right here. Yes. Okay. So that would be going right there. And it's going to be outputting stuff that side, that side. We're going to be having the input right here. So let's get this in the correct position. Oh, you know what? Actually, we need to input this into a chest. That's what I was trying to remember. So We're going to be using a chest and a hopper for this in case we get any excess. So we're going to do it like this. And we actually got to get this all the way up there. So we're going to have to bring this, we're going to have to start bringing this up at least. Bring it up right there. And get some cobble out so we can bring it up some more. Rotate it over. Bring it up. And yeah, we can do this then. And just don't want it going in there. So that'll be, want it like that. And like that. Okay, so that should be putting it in the chest. This will pretty much work if we ever get any excess, like we put in like 3 stacks of coal and it can't automatically put all 3 stacks into this because it can only hold 1. This will make it so that you don't have to worry about that overflowing. It'll just sit in the hopper and eventually in the chest if we have a ton of stuff backed up until it can actually go in there. So if we're looking at this, we're going to be having north, east, south, and west. So we are going to want the coal to go to the west. We are going to want the iron to go to the east. If we have any coal coke, that's going to go to the east too. And now we need to make the blast furnace over here. But I'm still trying to think if there's any tricky way that we can do this. I think I have a way, guys. I think I have a way. So let's see if this will output onto that. Okay, so it does output onto that, and it kicks it into this. So we're going to want to set it so that the full bottles of creosote are going to come out the bottom, which is going to go right there. So it would be like this. So if we were to put it, so cobble is going to go out the bottom, and this is just an example. Cobble would be in here, and it would get kicked out the bottom. So we can't actually make it work, guys. I'm pretty surprised that I was actually able to make that work in such a compact area, but you know, anything's possible if you believe. That sounded so stupid. It sounded stupid in my head too before I said it, and it just sounded worse when I said it out loud, but it's okay. So this should be all good. So everything should go in there, get put in the hopper, come down here, get filtered out here, and then we need to bring it out the bottom. And then we're going to merge this right here. We should actually kick this. No, we can keep it going straight for now. So we're going to bring it out these two and bring it over here. And then right here, we are going to need another hopper down here that is going to be connected. We actually got to put down a conveyor belt first. So that's going to go right there. Now, you know what? We don't need to do that. We can do this. We can do this. We can save some conveyor belts and have it output right there. So everything from that should get output onto this. And we can now bring this up. And like I said, unfortunately, we're not going to have enough to get it all the way up here. We're pretty close. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to take killing like 1 more cow right now. But what we need to do now is actually get power. And we only need to get power to these 3 things over here. So we got to go upstairs, use the medium voltage wire with the medium voltage connector, and actually wire this whole thing up. So we're going to wire it like this again, same way we did when we had the farm downstairs. Then we can connect this right here and just drop down and wire it right there. And then we're going to wire this, probably thinking the best way to wire it. No. Okay, I got to get up here first. So this needs to go right there. That's like a really awkward spot. So let's see if we can connect it right here. Because if we can do right here, that could connect to everything from right there. Darn, it's obstructed. Okay. I'm suspecting it's obstructed by that right there. That is extremely unfortunate. I guess we could just break like this right here so that we can angle it a little bit, and hopefully that'll work. Might need to break a little bit more of this, but we want this to be able to angle it right here. Can we connect these two? Yep, and can we connect these two? Yes, we can. Okay, so this should have power right now, actually. And next thing we can do is hopefully connect. Can we connect these? We should. Oh, no. No, I don't want to be assembled into glass bottles. Oh, okay, so we just hold shift and we go down. I didn't know you could actually use shift to fall off of those, too. Okay, so we can connect that. Last thing we need to connect is the assembler right over here. Get that down. And link from this to this. Okay, so this should be getting power. Yep, it has got power now. This whole thing should actually be working now. So what we can test out, and unfortunately it's just going to be dumped right here. You know what, actually I'll go off camera right now. I will kill some more cows. I will get this just the conveyor belts. We can come back, hook this up, and then we can actually let it run and verify that the whole thing is actually going to work. So I will be back in a minute. Okay guys, so we're back. Now I have 8 more conveyor belts, which is 1 more than we actually need. So we can get this thing hooked up here, and it should be all ready to go then. We can toss some stuff in there, verify that it works, and we will be good to go. So we can just connect these kind of like this, and get my hammer out. Just gotta rotate some of these, and kick this one up, and it should be good. So this should get everything back there. Let's just verify that the path works, and then we can test it out. Does it need to directly input into a chest? It might need to. So let's bring this one up right here, and let's just put one directly behind the chest, like that. Let's see if that works. Yep, okay, so that works. You just can't do it on an angle. That's why I was a little bit curious if certain angles would work for putting stuff in. Now the one thing that we are going to need to do, and we can just like come behind here to actually do it, is right now we do not have the creosote bottles getting ejected out the bottom. So right now it was cobble. We're not actually going to have cobble. That's going to be replaced by the creosote bottles. So once one does get filled after this runs twice, we are going to need to grab it and set it to the filter. So I think everything should work now. So what we're going to do is we're going to, oh my gosh, I've been trapped, guys. Okay, we're going to come over here, and we're going to input, we'll throw some coal coke, some coal, and some iron in there. So we can verify that the coal coke is going to come over here, and it should get automatically put into the into the blast furnace. Yep, okay, so it's going in the blast furnace, nice. The coal should get put into the coke oven, and it should actually start running then. And then everything's going to get a little bit loud. We're going to have to throw some cobble in here too, I forgot, to test the crusher and all that good stuff. But this should be getting thrown in there. That should be running now, which is good. So we can go up and grab some cobble because I want to test a good amount of it just to make sure that it's going to work. So we got some cobble up here. I cooked down most of it. I'm going to have to stop doing that, but we shouldn't actually need to fill this up that often with cobble. So we can throw the cobble in here. Now it should get put over there, go into the crusher, which should start running. A little bit loud. Yeah, we can just move far enough away. So the sand is getting put into the furnace right here, which will get ejected out the bottom, which will go into the assembler. Oh, drop me down. Please drop me down. Okay. That should get made into the glass bottles. Now, sometimes I have trouble with stuff getting automatically output from this. That's one thing that gets a little bit iffy. Okay, so they are getting automatically output, going in there. So now the thing is, we unfortunately need to wait for this to actually go through I guess we need, it needs to go through 2 cycles of this. So while that is running, I'm going to talk to you guys, and hopefully it doesn't take too long, but I want to talk to you guys about kind of what's left for the series and what I'm planning on doing. So this may seem a little excessive to you guys just to do something like this all for automatic steel production, when all I would really need to do for the other one is every 24 steel go and break something. And I guess I can kind of like, let's go hide somewhere in here while I'm doing this. Okay, so I don't want to have that in the background the whole time. But what I was going to say is that, this seems a little bit excessive and might seem like a waste. We could have used the crusher upstairs. We don't even need this whole setup, but because we've already done in like the first 14 episodes pretty much all of the stuff that's just like standalone in this series or in this entire mod. We've messed around with a bunch of these different things. We've messed around with a lot of the heavy machinery. We haven't done the arc furnace, but we can do that later. But it's essentially going to do the same thing that the setup upstairs would do. But we've messed around with the diesel generator and all that. Now we're coming to the portion where I want to start doing these really elaborate and completely unnecessary builds. These really cool builds that look awesome like this. They take up a ton of space and all that stuff, and they're just intricate, but they're fun to do. And so, it's not going to be super, it's not going to be stuff that you'd probably want to do if you're not playing with only immersive engineering. You might want to do it just for fun, but it's not going to be like my other videos where I'm kind of doing step-by-step stuff on useful things. This one's useful, but, it's not super useful for the resources you put into it. So if you guys are curious as to why I'm doing this, that is why. It's because I want to keep the series going, of course. Eventually it will come to an end, but for now we're going to start doing some really interesting stuff like this. So if you have any suggestions, always post them in the comments. This whole build stemmed from people posting some awesome suggestions in the comments, bouncing them off each other, bouncing them off me. So I thank you guys for all the feedback you've been giving. And yeah, so oh my gosh, what happened? Did it already put one out? Did it already? Okay, it might have actually used one and put one out. Okay, so it did actually put one out, and you can see that we get the bottle of creosote and it empties it over there. And what we need to do now is come around and make it so that the bottle will always go out the bottom. So that'll always go out the bottom. Just want to make sure it doesn't get a little weird with getting it thrown in the hopper, and then the hopper will kick it back in until it gets put out the bottom. But everything should be coming over here. We'll get our steel, we'll get our bottles of creosote, which will stack. So that is awesome. The whole setup is working perfectly. We'll get a lot of bottles going in there, and you'll know when you need to refill them when the machine actually stops working, so you don't even need to go back there. But eventually I'll probably put a door in, like right over here or something. So the last thing we actually need to do is come up here and just kind of fill this in. I will need to use, or I can't even like put stuff right above these if I want to be able to access them right now. So I will have to use something else, like a block, like stairs or half slab or something later. But for now it should be, I'll just leave it. So looks a little bit gross, but that's okay on my part. So everything should be done for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it interesting or helpful in any way, feel free to give it a like. It helps me out a lot, and I will talk to you guys later.